here. So we're going live on, let's see, right now, going live on YouTube actively. We're going to be popping up on Facebook, but we want to go ahead and go live on all the platforms here. So here we go. Perfect. All right, everyone. Welcome to the channel. It's Friday Night Live, one of our first attempts of multi-streaming here. So give me some grace if we are in the chat, and I am a little bit behind because I'm getting used to multiple things going on multiple screens. However, had a fun topic. Wanted to give this a run tonight, so we're going to go ahead and get live. So, welcome to the channel. This is Cody and Christian Multifamily Strategy. Don't usually do this at night. Usually on Wednesdays, 3 o'clock. But we had a fantastic question on Wednesdays live, and I wanted to go deeper into it. I'm also going to launch a YouTube video on this. But what we came up with was the question that we were asked, and I thought it was a great one, is if you had to start again today with $0, how would you do it? And so we expanded that question a little bit. If we had $0, no contacts, we're not saying we lost the business. We're saying I don't have the business to begin with. No contacts, starting from no money whatsoever. What's the play? Well, one thing that we talk about a lot on this channel is you don't need money to play the real estate game. We certainly didn't have any when we started. Cody had $3,000. I started with an actual income. I had a sales job. It bought me 2 multifamily buildings, duplexes. I spent all my money on them. I was at $0 when we built our business. I had no liquidity. So with Cody's $3,000 and my $0, we built our business. If I had to start again, there are things that I would do differently. And that's what I want to cover here on the live. I see All-Nighters already joined the chat. All-Nighter, good to see you. Crazy to see you here on a Friday night. Someone has turned their notifications on. Thank you for that. So the topic that we're talking about for just a little bit tonight is, what do you do when you're starting from zero? If I had no contacts, no money, how would I play the game? One of the first things that's a problem when you're broke and have no money is that you have no money, right? Novel idea. If you have no money and you're broke, one of the first things you have to get on is we need to solve the liquidity problem right now. When Cody and I started on our first deal, we 100% financed the deal. $2 million. Later, it was worth up to $4 million, but we 100% financed a deal with absolutely no reserves, which means we underraised for our first deal. I have a couple friends, and they were some of our earlier mentees, and since we overraised, they overraised. Or underraised. Sorry, let me try that again. Late night live. Since we underraised, they copied our model and they underraised. And we all ran into about the same problem. Real estate costs money. If you start with no reserves, you have no reserves and things will come up. So the first thing I would do is I'd figure out a way to either raise more capital for the LLC or create more personal income. Like actually start with some money myself. So if you have no money, how do you start real estate with money in your bank account? I'm going to launch a video on this, but I'll also share it right here. If you're familiar with wholesaling, I am not a fan of the wholesaling model. I'm not recommending you wholesale. Wholesaling is essentially when you get a deal. We talk about deal, debt, equity. You find the deal, and you may line up a debt product with this. If you want to be a really good wholesaler, you'll figure out the debt as well. Get it seller finance, pass it to the next person. But for the most part, you're finding a deal. You're going to put it under contract, your name and or assigns, or your company and or assigns. So for me, Christian Osgood and or assigns is buying this deal, and I'm going to assign it to someone for a fee called an assignment fee. So if I get a spectacular deal like the 33 unit hotel that we're buying right now to convert into multifamily, we're buying for $1.6 million. It's going to be worth $3 million when we're done. A wholesaler would go ahead and sell it for $2 million, make $400,000 and get liquid. However, what is our goal? Our goal is to buy real estate. You can get an assignment fee and wholesale a deal to yourself. That is what I would do if I had no money personally. I was starting with zero. I would find a deal at a fantastic price. I would get it under contract, probably seller financed, because then I found the deal. And let's say we're doing 10% down seller financed. We do a lot of that. So I have the deal and 90% of the money already figured out. And if I have a deal where I won on price, I can go to investor and say, hey, I'm looking for a capital partner for the last 10%. I'm bringing the deal. I've lined up almost all the money, and I'm going to run the project. I'm doing just about everything here. In our hypothetical deal, let's call it $1 million deal, and we're gonna go with $100,000 down. This is one where we might go ahead and raise 120 and say, hey, there's a $20,000 assignment fee. This is my compensation for finding the deal, lining up all the pieces. You're going to come in as a fairly passive partner in the deal. All I need is the capital. So it's 120 to buy into this deal. We buy for $1 million. Say it's a deal that's worth $1.2 million, $1.3 million. They make money. We make money. Cash flow. That is a fairly normal thing to do. Most people will accept that. If you can bring tremendous value, a great deal, a small fee to yourself is not unreasonable. Now, Cody and I have only actually done that one time. We rarely ever do this because we usually keep enough liquidity in reserve. Now, not always. Sometimes we spend all of our money and then we're broke and we have to go recapitalize. But that is a actual viable way. And if I had to start with $0 again, I need to fix the fact that I'm broke. And the fastest way to do that is to go ahead and do a deal and get liquidity at close. So when that deal closes, money hits the account. It's on the actual settlement statement. You get a fee that is dispersed to you, just like you would on a wholesale contract. But you wholesaled your own deal to yourself or to the LLC that you created. The nice thing with this too is some sellers really don't like working with wholesalers. But it's very common for us to move, like we'll put it under contract in our own name and we'll move it into an LLC later on. So you put it in the name, Christian Osgood and or assigns, and they go, hey, we don't want you wholesaling this deal. You can put it in the contract that says, I am going to be one of the members on this LLC, and I'm going to be a managing member of this LLC. I usually let all investors, like if a seller's selling something, I'll let them know, like, hey, I'm going to put this in either an LLC controlled by me and my business partner, or I might bring in one capital partner. And I let them know that up front. But I am the one buying the deal. I am the one in the driver's seat. I am signing for the deal. And we can actually put that in the contract. So it gives me the right to assign, and they can put limits on who you assign to. But it is very easy to explain, hey, we're not trying to flip this. We're not creating some crazy profit. I am not liquid 100% of what I need to be for this deal, but I can operate this deal. I'm going to be bringing on a capital partner. We're going to have an LLC. You put it in the contract and or assigns. And when you assign it, you charge a reasonable fee that is agreed upon by you and your investor for your time putting together the deal. That is a trick that I would absolutely do if we started with $0. Now, the next thing we do, Cody and I do a lot of value add. Our first project was a big value add. I would change that. Now, I would not do that deal because that deal made us millionaires. But the deals that I would be trying to find would be the ones that have more cash flow day one. That was really hard with no reserves and a deal that lost money in operating. So it was a negative cap rate deal. Now we fixed that very quick. Within about 60 days, it was cash flowing very, very well because we got everyone caught up, got collections going again, helped people get on government support. This was the middle of COVID. But on a general deal, and the other thing we did is we bought more cash flowing deals to stabilize the building. Instead of having to build the building, the whole business backwards, what I would have done and what I recommend doing is you find that great deal, and you can find a great deal of any size in just about any market. But I'd go out, I'd meet the owners, I'd explain what I'm trying to do and the urgency behind my mission here. It's like, hey, I'm starting from zero. This is the business that I'm trying to build and why I'm building it. I'm meeting with the owners who own the real estate. Someone's going to put something in front of you they're going to be able to take down and really target cash flow, get a little liquidity at close, target that cash flow and start building a base as soon as possible. Now that's if we're doing real estate. That would be the main way to make money and build wealth. That is the easiest, well, I won't say the easiest. It's the simplest and most guaranteed way to build wealth. If you're good at playing the real estate game over time, it outperforms pretty much every asset class. You can buy them where they cash flow. Doesn't beat most businesses in cash flow, but it destroys almost everything in long-term equity growth. So that appreciation is going to come in and can absolutely save you. So if I'm starting with $0, the other thing I would do, and I've just learned this through the course of business, we have a couple other businesses. So while I'm doing this whole grow from zero, by the way, you can go back to the beginning of this channel and check this out. Cody and I started filming when we had no real estate. You go to the first videos on this channel, and seriously, I challenge you to do this. Go to our YouTube channel for those who are watching on Facebook. It's Cody and Christian Multifamily Strategy. Go to that YouTube channel and go to the earliest videos. It's Cody talking about his dreams of buying real estate. When I joined the channel, I think I had my first duplex. I think I had 2 units when I joined the channel. Tell the story of what you're doing. Tell it to the people around you. I recommend telling it online. But as you're doing this, you're going to start building a brand. As you get momentum in anything you're doing, one of the best things and fastest ways to just generate liquidity. Have some sort of digital product. It could be following, could be an expertise that you have, but take the knowledge that you have and spend the time to package it in a way that is truly beneficial and valuable to others. Digital products have the lowest cost to set up. They're time intensive, but if you're starting with no money, the first thing I would do is start selling your time. If you can coach anyone, if you can create a digital product, if you can write a book and rip it out really fast, some people can do that. But take the knowledge you have and the time you have and leverage that into recurring income streams, all the while finding real estate deals and getting liquidated right off. But that's a question that I wanted to give its own live to. If you are at $0 and you're starting fresh, if I had no contacts, no money, all I have is the knowledge that I know today, that is exactly what I do. And I guarantee you can drop me into any market and I can find a deal and we can wrap it up with or without money. We've done this enough places with enough people around the country. Cody owns in Indiana and in Washington. I own in Washington and Texas. We have mentees who've bought in virtually every state. I don't know about the Dakotas because there's not a whole lot of population there. I know we've had a mentee there. I need to follow up with them, see how their deals are going. But I know that this is doable in any market, anywhere. Those are the tips for liquidity, though. Leverage your time, create products that have recurring revenue streams that are relatively quick and inexpensive to set up, and focus on deals that can get you liquid at the close. There are deal structures to do that. Anyone can do this in any market. I am not telling you to wholesale to other people or create a wholesaling business. I'm saying find businesses, wholesale a deal to yourself, and start rolling your business with a little bit of liquidity. If Cody and I had done that, some people are really impressed with our couple hundred units in a few years. And while it's cool, there's people who've built a lot better businesses. If I can go back in time, I could build this same business in a year and it would be run better because we know more. We'd be running it out of more liquidity. Probably pretty similar on cash flow. We did a good job on that, but we would be running our entire business with more liquidity, less obligations because of better deal structure. Now, if anyone has any questions on this, I'm going to go a little bit on the live here and just open it up. I know it's a late night live. We're not going to get a lot of views. We go live every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I felt like covering this topic. I'm also experimenting on both my platforms with multi-streaming. So I'm making sure the stream actually goes multiple places. So this was a good test run for me. If anyone has any questions in here or wants to learn more about how we built our business, how you can do the same thing, I absolutely welcome that. Like 100% post in the chat. If not, that's totally fine. We'll go ahead and wrap. These Friday night lives are a rare event. So for the few of you who are watching, thank you very much. And for everyone who wants more of this, or if you missed this and you're seeing it later, you're not sitting and spending your Friday night hanging out with me on YouTube. Check us out on Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Last one went 3 hours. I don't do that every time. But we will answer questions on business and real estate until the comments end. So thanks for your time tonight, guys. And I do have one. Are you using a new mic? Your audio visual is good. I am. My old mic actually broke, which turns out was a good thing. I just listened to a podcast we just recorded. It went live today with that ADU guy. His name's Derek. Fantastic interview. And my mic sounds terrible. And we could not figure it out in that event. Then I was recording for the Robin Hood. We just held an event down there. And the computer stopped recognizing it. I realized it died. So appreciate that. I am using a new mic. I am glad you like it. We're testing a whole lot of new stuff today. Hence my inspiration to go live. Got new equipment, new software. We're trying the whole thing. So I'm glad that it's actually going out. And with that, I think we're going to call it a good night. Everyone, thank you for joining. We'll see you on Wednesday for our next live.